We are starting the second half of Unit 4, our geometry unit. This is going to be all about circles, area, circumference, volume, area, surface area, area of composite figures, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so it's going to be lots of formulas. Okay, so on page 73 in our journal, we have a formula sheet. This is the formula sheet that you'll be given on the Georgia Milestones. On page 74, you have the full page that you folded in half, the finding circumference. This is where we're going to take our vocabulary notes, and we're going to learn how to find circumference using the formula. On page 75, we're finding the missing links, and we're going to use our formula, and if we're given the circumference, we're going to have to find the missing side length, and we'll go over that. And then on page 76, we're going to practice what we've learned in these journal notes. On page 73, when you look at our formulas, we have how to find the perimeter, how to find the mean, interquartile range, that's from 6th grade, circumference of a circle, this is what we're going to start on today, then the area, and we'll focus on area of a circle at the end of the week. We'll move on to surface area next week, and then we'll end this unit with volume of prisms. So today we're going to focus on finding the circumference of a circle. All right, on page 74 we have area and circumference vocabulary. So when you're dealing with, we're going to deal with area and circumference of a circle. So here we have, this is the shape, this is the circle that we're dealing with. The line that goes straight through the middle, that is the center, where this little dot is right here. That's the center of the circle. And then we have this part right here. So we're going to talk about what all of those parts mean. All right, so the radius is what I outlined in blue. This is my radius. Radius is a line that goes from the center of the circle from the center point to any point on the circumference of the circle. So the radius is the line that goes from the center point to any point on the circumference of the circle. So any point from the center to the circle itself. That is the radius. The diameter is the line, this is what I outlined in black, the line passing from side to side through the center of a circle. So the radius is from the center to the outside of the circle. The diameter is all the way through the middle of the circle. The circumference is the distance around the circle. So I've made the colors identical to what I've drawn on the circle so that you can see what's the radius, what's the diameter, and what's the circle. So the formula for circumference, C, which of course is the circumference, circumference equals pi times the diameter. For pi, we're going to talk about what pi is, but for pi we're going to use 3.14, and then d, of course, represents diameter. All right, the area is the number of square units inside a circle. The number of square units, and you guys know what area is. You learned that in 6th grade. So the formula is A, which stands for area, area equals pi times the radius squared. Now, it's not the radius times 2. That's an exponent. And then R stands for radius. All right, so we're using pi in these formulas. What is pi? Pi is found by dividing the circumference of any circle by its diameter, because we said that circumference equals pi times diameter. So to solve for pi, you would divide by pi on both sides. You don't have to write this down. Divide by diameter on both sides. You don't write this down. I'm just showing you that pi equals circumference divided by diameter. It is an irrational number because it cannot be written as a simple fraction. The decimal for pi is never ending. It is approximately 3.14, and we use the symbol pi, which is the 16th letter in the Greek alphabet. All right, so still on that same page, finding circumference. Find the circumference. We use our formula, and we just wrote that down. Circumference equals pi times diameter. This is circumference. We use 3.14, and this is the diameter. So, when you're solving for this, first thing you're going to do is write down the formula. C equals pi times diameter. Substitute the known values used under the correct variable. So I don't know what my circumference is, so I keep circumference. I'm using 3.14 for pi, and my diameter is 24. Then you solve and label. So when I type that into my calculator, 3.14 times 24, my circumference for this circle is 75.36 centimeters. That means if I were to take a string and connect it all the way around this circle and then measure that string, the string would be 75.36 centimeters long. All right, on the next one, the first thing we do is we copy down our formula. Circumference equals pi times diameter. C equals 3.14 times the diameter goes straight across, that's 10. And when I multiply that and put your unit, it is 31.4 inches. All right, we have to be careful because some circles, it will not give you the diameter. It's only going to give you halfway through. This is actually the radius, not the diameter. Our formula is circumference equals pi times diameter. Well, from our earlier notes, we know that radius is half of the circle. Diameter is the line all the way through the circle. So to turn radius into diameter, you're going to multiply the radius by 2. So the diameter equals 6 times 2, which is 12. Now I can take this number and plug it into my formula. And when I multiply that, I get 37.68 inches. All right, finding the missing links given the circumference. In our journal, this is on page 75. Find the diameter of a circle with a circumference of 36 inches. So our formula is C equals pi times diameter. We are given that our circumference is 36. So to solve for the missing side length, we have this formula, 36 equals 3.14 times the diameter. We're solving for the diameter. So all this is a one-step equation. I divide by 3.14 on both sides. And 36 divided by 3.14 is 11.5. So the diameter is 11.5 inches. Find the diameter of a circle with a circumference of 15 inches. So circumference equals pi times the diameter. We are given that our circumference is 15. So 15 equals 3.14 times the diameter. We're solving for diameter. So we got to get 3.14 to the other side. We did the inverse operation. This is just like one-step equations that we did at the beginning of the year. Divide by 3.14 on both sides. And you get 4.8. So our diameter is 4.8 inches, 4 8/10 inches. Find the radius of a circle with a circumference of 28 inches. So C equals pi times diameter. We're plugging in 28 for our circumference. 28 equals 3.14 times the diameter. I'm going to divide by 3.14 because I'm getting the diameter by itself. And that gives me that my diameter is 8.92. Alright, so I divided by 3.14 and I found my diameter, but this problem says to find the radius. So I know that the radius is half of the diameter. So I'm going to divide this by 2. Only because this particular problem asked for my radius. If it had asked for the diameter, then I would be finished. But it asked for the radius, so I have to do one more thing. And when I divide 8.92 by 2, I get that the radius equals 4.46 centimeters. All right, so the next one says to choose your circumference, find the diameter and the radius of your circle. So you're going to come up with some random circumference. It doesn't matter what number you use. I'm going to use 20. So I'm going to have that my circumference is 20 inches. So 20, and of course yours is going to be different from mine because you have a different number. 20 equals 3.14 times the diameter. So I'm going to divide 20 divided by 3.14. And that gives me 6.4. I'm rounding to the nearest tenth. So that's my diameter. And now I divide by 2. And 6.4 divided by 2 is 3.2 inches. So my diameter is 6.4 and my radius is 3.2. And you should have followed this same process with your random circumference. Divide by 3.14, that gives you your diameter. Divide by 2, that gives you your radius.